Ladies and gentlemen, we are live!
Welcome everyone to the Bronx Sports Jedi MMA Weekly of Austin and Chef Dan. I'm Austin and my co-host Chef Dan. How you doing tonight, Chef Dan?
Salute to you, Austin. Salute to everyone in the chat. Salute to everyone joining us on all podcast platforms, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Audible, wherever you get your podcast platform. Thank you so much for joining us tonight as we break down these MMA events that happened over the weekend. I'm doing good, though. How are you, Austin?
Doing good. Been a very good day so far. I mean, tomorrow is my birthday, so happy for that. And today's also my brother's birthday, ironically enough. We're both born a day. Well, he's 1 year older than me, and he was born the day before me. And so I'm a year and a day younger. My birthday's 28th. His is on 27th.
Oh, that's dope. So then let's do this right then. Let's start this show off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, as this is the moment you've all been waiting for. So does Bruce. So now, this is truly the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time! A very happy birthday!
Wow, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, that's dope. That's from me and your dad, man. Thank you so much for everything you do for this channel, man. And happy birthday to your brother and happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you. Salute. Yeah, salute.
Yes. Take a sip. What's that you're drinking right there? Anything
Water.
we could get sponsored? Oh, man.
Water.
I was hoping you were taking a sip of something that we could get sponsored by. But yeah, let's get sponsored by water. Water is the best hydration that you can get when you're fighting. Yeah, and when they freeze it and put it in a bag and use it to cool down a fighter, that's some of the best stuff that can happen for a fighter right there in between rounds. So salute to water.
Yeah, what? Yeah, Poland Springs. Hope maybe who knows it is up.
Poland Springs, Fiji, who knows?
Yeah.
But let's get right into this MMA talk that happened over the weekend. We can start off with Friday in the morning. Bellator happened in Ireland. This was a really, really good event for me. I don't know if you want to start off with the first card on the main card, or you want to get right into the main event.
The Jornel Lugo and Brian Moore fight. We can, I guess, if you want, we can start there.
Okay. All right, most definitely, because that was one of the most lengthiest fights of the night. Jornel Lugo versus Brian Moore. Brian Moore did put up a good fight, but to me, I felt like Jornel Lugo was in complete control.
I agree.
Yeah, it was really just he was in complete control, and there was nothing really that Brian Moore could do. I really did think he put up a good fight, but Jornel Lugo was in control completely. The striking, the leg kicks, it paid dividends for him a lot. This was really a good fight for me.
Yeah, I agree. You announced this is Lugo was in control. I mean, Moore try. He landed some shots, but Lugo, Moore did, but Lugo was in control. He landed more. He was more effective. He landed more shots. Would be leg kicks, etc. And he was able to get a nice, comfortable decision, despite the effort Moore put up, especially fighting his home country of Ireland. But Lugo is, state remains undefeated. There's a reason why he's undefeated now at, I believe, 8-0, if I'm not mistaken, or 9-0. I don't.
No, he's 8-0.
Okay, he was right number 9 going into the rank. Oh, that's why I got confused. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe that performance, he might be in the bantamweight tournament later on this year. We know they're going to have one. We have a general idea who might beat it, but maybe Lugo might sneak into that tournament. Maybe not. I don't know, but
if he wants to seize the opportunity, you kind of take time to heal up, and you got to get busy during this year and impress one more time. I think he'll be someone to go right into the tournament.
We don't know when. Yeah, the tournament's going to start soon. Just don't know when. Okay. That's the question. I bet you we'll probably find out when the April card, when Nemkov and Corey Anderson wrap up the light heavyweight tournament. Bet you that's when we find out.
Yeah, most definitely. So with that being said, we can move on from this fight, get right into the next fight on the card. Khasan Magomedsharipov versus Jose Sanchez. Khasan Magomedsharipov, he won this fight via unanimous decision. This wasn't a really exciting fight. It really wasn't an exciting fight. He just controlled him via wrestling, got him down on the ground, and just that's how he won the fight, Khasan. It wasn't a lot of exciting striking moments with this one. I could say this wasn't the most exciting fight.
It was not, but it wasn't. Although give Khasan credit for dominating guy who, going to this fight was 11-1 and had twice the fighting experience than Khasan. But yeah, it wasn't exciting. The exception of maybe the second round when he cut up Jose Sanchez. I don't remember if it was an elbow or a punch, but it was like the hairline. He was in the side, I remember, and he was bleeding a lot. And 10-8 round, but other than that moment, it really wasn't exciting. Khasan just controlled him, used his wrestling, and just his Dagestani wrestling just dominated Jose Sanchez as he wins and stays undefeated and goes up to 7-0. And I know he's the brother of Zabit Sharipov. So you got two brothers now dominating two different organizations. Well, winning two different organizations. Hopefully we see Zabit, his brother, back, and we'll see a little bit more from Khasan. Hopefully he be more exciting like his brother is.
Yeah, and I think the more exciting thing is like he's got to be more confident in his striking, especially when setting up, because the way he got some of those takedowns on Jose Sanchez, you're not going to get that against the elite type of competition you want to face, later on in your career. You're going to need to, those guys are going to have great takedown awareness, great takedown defense in order to stop the shoot, push you back up, and really kind of get you into a stand up fight. Like I know there's some guys where sometimes you could get the takedown and the guy will get back up, but sometimes you don't want to end up in a situation where a guy he just knows where when you're shooting, he could telegraph it and all that. And he's just gonna keep pushing you back up and saying it's not even going to that far, and you can reshoot all you want. I'm gonna just keep pushing you back up, and I'm probably gonna meet you with a couple of strikes.
Yeah, yeah, definitely agree with you there. That's a pretty good analysis, and like I said, hopefully Zabit can, like I said, not Zabit, excuse me, Hassan can, like I said, improve striking, be more confident too, especially considering those takedowns against the elite competition will not be as easy. But he is a Dagestani. I know their wrestling's elite, but still, it doesn't just we see what Rafian Stotts did against Magomedov a few months ago. Was able to win the wrestling department there and beat Magomed.
Yeah, so maybe he could just, it's all about improving in that striking department. That's really what I see. That's the key for him to get, better fights and for him to be more dynamic. That way, you don't even have to slowly climb your way up. Sometimes you can have a dynamic finish, let's say 2 dynamic finishes. That'll shoot you straight up the ladder. Or maybe one day, you finish a guy so fast, the one opponent calls out for a high-profile matchup. You're on everyone's list as far as a high profile guy. This could maybe be an underdog type of fight that the company sees like this could be really good as far as betting wise. It could help with other Vegas could see how much people would want to bet on this guy, bet on the champ versus this guy. Yet he also has underdog capability to where he can upset and everything and possibly get a higher status in the division. So it's things of that nature. That's what I'm looking out for.
Yeah, definitely. Same here, and I guess we can move on to the next fight on the card, which is also in the featherweight division between Abou Tounkara, excuse me, and Ciaran Clarke. And Ciaran Clarke wins the fight via shoulder injury to Tonkara, as Tonkara cannot continue after the first round. This fight was, Tonkara was winning this fight. He won the first round. He was going for submissions. He had several submission attempts. He was doing really well. Although at the end, Clarke landed, was able to get on top position, landed a couple strikes, but it wasn't like really putting Tonkara in danger. But I don't know. Something happened in the final seconds when he was on the bottom, where his arm was sticking out, where his left shoulder just popped out, and he couldn't continue once he went to the stool.
I was gonna say that myself, man. I was gonna say the exact same thing. You took the analysis, right out of my brain. I really didn't. I didn't agree with this decision at all. I thought, if anything, matchmakers and people up above should have stepped in and called this a no contest at the very least. No contest to set it for a rematch or something like that, because I felt like Tonkara was winning this matchup all of the first round. You go into the late into the later half of the second round, Ciaran Clarke, he reverses and things of that nature. But then after that, the way the arm popped out, it felt like it had nothing to do with Ciaran Clarke.
Yeah, I agree. It felt more with like he did something. Like it wasn't like Ciaran put a submission. It's like almost like he just got a bad angle. I get.
It's kind of like you're stretching your arm out. You're trying to defend hits. He probably did too much of a movement or something, and he popped his own shoulder out. That's why it's like I'm seeing it, and it's like it. Also, was there no chiropractor in the house that could maybe kind of pop it back in?
I guess not. I guess there wasn't there. Yeah, you would think they have a chiropractor.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't have that. You have a doctor. You should at least have a chiropractor in case something like this happens.
I agree. That's a good point. That's a good point there, Dan. You should have a chiropractor if you're gonna,
And I don't think that should be. Sorry for cutting you off, but I don't think that should be incumbent on a fighter's corner, because the stress enough of paying for gym lessons and paying through everyday life and all these things, having to be the discipline, waiting for that one check, things of that nature. Like it is, they should have at least had a chiropractor in.
Yeah, it probably should. But I wonder, can you now that you continue if you pop it in place, I wonder, only is there a danger of it popping back out if?
I mean, there is a possibility, maybe, but at the very least, if you pop it back in, knowing the fighter's psyche, and it's like, dislocated, but then you relocate it right back into the socket, the person is just going to keep trying to get it. And it's a 3-round fight. You finish it, it's essentially a 2-round fight. I think he could have completed that. One arm, man, I think he still would have gotten Ciaran Clarke. Because going into this next fight, man, this other fighter, oh my God.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, we can move on and talk about the co-main event then, since you already mentioned it. The co-main event in the women's featherweight division between Sinead Kavanagh and Leah McCourt in the women's featherweight division. Sinead Kavanagh wins via unanimous decision, 29-28, 2 judges scorecards, and 30-27 on 1. And Sinead Kavanagh showed a lot of grit and toughness because her knee went out, her left knee. I think she was trying to stop a takedown or landed awkwardly, and her left knee gave out, and she fought like that for like the next 2 rounds at least. No, next 2 rounds, I believe.
The remainder of the second round, and then in all of the third round.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and her knee was bad. Like, you could tell she was in a lot of pain every time she stepped. Every time Leah went for a somewhat takedown, she couldn't resist. She just went down. There was a point towards the final minute of the second round where Leah kind of kick her, off her back, push kick her, and she just fell. And normally fighters don't fall like that when they get kicked like that. And she fell because her knee. But give Sinead Kavanagh credit. I mean, the first round she had a deep Kimura. I mean, it looked like McCourt was gonna have to tap, but McCourt was able to fight off it, show her toughness, and also she's a BJJ. Brazilian, she's a black belt, BJJ, excuse me, and she competes in tournaments in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and she showed that. That's how she was able to get out of danger there. And plus, I think also her being a woman, and women tend to be more flexible, and guys might play a part, in my opinion. Because I feel like if those are 2 guys, even if the guy in getting submitted is a black belt, I feel like he probably would have tapped in that similar situation. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I gave Leila credit for being able to get out of that submission hold. And this fight, like I said, Sinead Kavanagh won. She lost the 3rd round. She still, at the end, was reverse position, was able to throw some strikes on top. And Kavanagh showed a lot of toughness. This is probably the toughest. This was more likely the toughest fight of her career and the toughest victory, especially that knee problem. Especially since she had to be carried out by her coach John Kavanagh, no relations, and Conor McGregor after the victory.
Fight of the night. Fight of the night. Just fight of the night. This was the most grittiest fight of the entire event. This was the best fight to me of the event, really, because this was just so... it's crazy. It was really, really good. Sinead Kavanagh was really, really gritty the entire time. Leah McCourt, I take nothing away from her as well, because that first round, the way she survived that deep Kimura, like you said, that was crazy insane. Crazy insane. And then Sinead Kavanagh, man, we saw, I'm listening to Big John McCarthy as he's describing it. The knee is so bad for Sinead Kavanagh in that 3rd round. That is the worst part for a person going into that 3rd round when you have a compromised ligament, especially if it's in the knee or anything like that. Is you got to come out of the corner standing. That's how the start of the fight is. So you can't even you can't even just give way to your back and just try and invite the person in. It's not gonna happen like that. And so she tries the orthodox stance, and Leah McCourt already knows and chops, and is you oh my god, you feel it, you hear it, it makes you go it hurt bad. So then she and salute to Sinead Kavanagh, because she took 2 or 3 of those while still trying to throw back before she's like, you know what, I can't, and then tried to go southpaw. And you hear John McCarthy saying, it doesn't matter either which way for her. If she goes southpaw, then she has to push off of the leg that's hurting her. So she has no power in any of the punches she throws. If she goes orthodox, that leg gets chopped and compromised more. So it's the only saving grace she had was that Leah McCourt did invite the grappling. And when she did, what I can say is what even saved Sinead Kavanagh was, even though she was losing in the stand-up, majority of that 3rd round was spent in the grappling. And even though Leah McCourt almost got a knee bar on her on that very same leg, she fought out of it. And to me personally, I think Sinead Kavanagh got the better of the grappling exchanges in that 3rd round.
I can see your point. I mean, I can see why you think that, considering she got out of it and submission attempt on the knee bar and got top position. Well, yeah, this was definitely a gutsy performance. Definitely a great performance by Kavanagh, despite the circumstances, and she was able to win probably the most toughest fight of her career, and stay in the rankings. Stay in the top 5 rankings, especially considering she was coming up with a title loss to Cyborg back in November. And she wins in front of her home country and her hometown of Dublin, Ireland. The Irish fans were definitely happy. And like I said, the Irish crowd was great. And not this night or last night, Friday night, they were great. There's a reason why Bellator goes to Ireland twice a year, because the crowds always show up. They're in the UK when they go. Bellator goes to England, and in UFC as well, which are going in a few weeks.
Yeah, that crowd was really, really engaged. I'm not even gonna lie, like they know what they like. Like when they see aggressive wrestling, they will let it happen. If they see guys lounging around, they're booing. They're quick to boo and let you know, hey, you're not giving us an exciting fight. But when you're giving them fireworks, they give you all the love, all the adulation and everything. And so like it is a beautiful thing in that crowd. I really enjoyed that crowd and everything that they provided as far as the atmosphere for the event.
Yeah, that crowd definitely deserves a shout out to the crowd of Dublin, Ireland, and definitely. And when Bellator comes back and want to win, but definitely be a great crowd like always. And hopefully UFC goes back there soon. I know, like I said, they're going to London in a few weeks. Maybe they go to Ireland this year or next year. By the way, yeah, shout out to the crowd. And the crowd was happy after the co-main event. And the crowd was also happy with the main event, because some people did travel from the Netherlands to this fight. And the main event is the middleweight title fight between Gegard Mousasi, the champion, and the previously undefeated Austin Vanderford. And this fight didn't last long. This was only a minute and 25 seconds. And Gegard Mousasi just TKOs him. He was just better striking. He was the better striker of the two by far. It wasn't even close. He just picked him apart, landed some shots, jab, right, left hooks, and then right hook. He wobbled Vanderford, and it looked like to me Vanderford got wobbled, went for a takedown, but Gegard stuffed it. And when he stuffed it, Vanderford's head hit the mat. I think he was already dazed, and so his head hit the mat, which made him worse. And then Gegard got on top and started, ground pounding him. So the referee stopped it. And Gegard wins. He defends his belt again, gets another stoppage victory, and Gegard Mousasi continues to add a legacy of his legendary career. As Gegard Mousasi proves why he is an all-time great, why he is a Hall of Famer, why he's called about greatest middleweight of all time. Anderson Silva, Israel Adesanya comes up, and Gegard Mousasi, they should be in the conversation with those three, because his resume speaks for itself. I mean, look at his resume in UFC and Pride and Dream and Strikeforce, and in Bellator. I mean, the guy just wins. He wins big fight. He wins a lot of fights. He beats a lot of opponents, and even when he loses a big fight, he'll bounce back and go on a streak. Even avenge some of those losses too. So man, Gegard is just phenomenal, man. And I tip the hat to Gegard. And what are your thoughts of this fight, Chef Dan?
Austin Vanderford had a dream of becoming middleweight champion for Bellator. And the dream catcher just did what his nickname is, and that is catch that dream and put it to bed, because it was complete domination, like you said. I don't know if Austin Vanderford had hit his head after the shoot, but what I do know is Gegard like quickly flipped him around and got immediately to the ground and pound. He didn't let that opportunity waste. He was patient. He didn't rush into the range. But he didn't, he was patient, but he wasn't so patient that it was boring. Like, he's like slowly but surely getting into the range like a shark. And once he was there, he starts once he found his range to touch Austin, he just kept going. Didn't really let Austin try and, move out of range. And when, once Austin felt like, hey, if that was, he couldn't handle enough and he did get rocked, he tried to go for the takedown, which is a smart thing to do, but Gegard saw it coming, man. It was just it was so elementary to him.
It was, and Gegard usually has good takedown defense. Typically, I know some fights where he lost, he was taken down several times, kept getting taken down. But we've seen a lot of other fights against good wrestlers. He can have good takedown defense, stuffs them or gets up immediately. But in this fight, he showed his takedown defense. He was able to sprawl against a very good wrestler in Austin Vanderford, who was just wrestling to win, and just once he got on top, it was game over.
But I think it ended quickly, but it ended the way it was supposed to, because I think even if Austin Vanderford survived that ground and pound and he, tries and fight back up, that whole beginning of the first round, I could just see that sequence happening over and over and over again. It was just so flawless. It was a flawless victory for Gegard Mousasi.
It was, and he just continues to keep winning. That's his 49th victory of his MMA career. Think about that. His 49th victory, his MMA career, defending world championships in major organizations. That's incredible.
This is a Hall of Fame career before our eyes, and you just got to take witness and enjoy it.
I agree. Yep. And it's sad that UFC didn't pay him, enough money to stay in 2017, because people forget he was on a 5-fight winning streak and was the number one contender for the middleweight title at the time. But like I said, the UFC didn't pay him what he wanted, and Bellator offered him a better deal, and he took it. So I can't be mad at him for that. But it sucks. Everyone wanted to see what the fight between him and Whitaker, him and Israel would be, considering those two are probably the two best middleweights, along with Gegard. It'd be fun to see, but I know it's not going to happen because the UFC doesn't cross promote, and I don't think Bellator is going to release him anytime soon. So he's the champion, and he's still winning fights, so we can only dream.
Yeah, we can only dream.
Yeah, but it was a great card from Bellator, a very entertaining card. I like for the most part, with exception maybe the Khasan fight.
You said exception to that, yeah, that was all in all, it really was a good Bellator fight, a Bellator card. I especially enjoyed this one fight between Stephanie Page and Danni McCormack. I don't know if anyone's seen the reactions from Conor McGregor. That was very viral because he was in the corner of Danni McCormack, and the way Stephanie Page just, rocked her like she wants, this was like, this is like, I call what she did, that second punch, a real Superman punch, because she really didn't have to leave, her feet didn't have to leave the floor. She just had a head of steam. And when she rocked Danni McCormack, right? Danni McCormack falls on her butt. She's trying to get up. Her hands leave the mat just in time to for it to be legal, but at the same time, she's not defending herself. And Stephanie Page with the head of steam just boom crashes in her again and just keeps rocking her, and it's to a point where she's out on her feet in the first round. Vicious KO.
Damn. And woof. Well, congrats to Stephanie Page for getting a victory. It's something going viral thanks to Conor McGregor's reaction. So shout out to Stephanie Page for that victory. I mean, damn. Way to describe it. Woof.
Bro, it's they're just literally just, you know, they're standing there trying to get in each other's pocket, but Stephanie's a lot more aggressive than Danny. She comes up in there, boom, boom. She misses a few shots, boom, boom, misses a few shots, boom, misses the left, right, boom, sends Danny back. You know, stumble, land on your butt. Stephanie sees, and she just darts with the head of steam. Danny's getting up, man. Like I said, hands leave the mat just in time to help push her up, to just put her right at where Stephanie Page needed her to be to land that second shot, but not quick enough to defend herself. And that was yeah. If you've ever seen that meme of Marge Simpson where she's like doing the uppercut,
yes, yeah. Gotcha. I see.
this is like an anime character punch.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's like some Springtime of Youth Rock Lee type stuff.
That's a damn. Yeah, I see. I get what you mean. If you're an Naruto fan, you get that. You get that reference. But yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a what a great shout out to Stephanie Page. I mean, if you haven't watched it, guys, go. You can find it on the internet. Go check it out. Stephanie Page knockout. Danny. I'm forgetting her last name.
Danni McCormack, but also just go on the Bellator page. It's in the prelims. The prelims are right there. You guys can skip right ahead till you find the match. They'll probably have divided it up, put some timestamps on it, so you can find it. It ends in the first round very quick, but I believe this should go viral. Salute to Stephanie Page.
Yep, I agree. And salute to her. And yeah, I guess that wraps up our Bellator coverage. I guess we can go on and talk about what happened last night in UFC in Vegas. Unless there's anything else you want to add.
Nah, that's it. Let's get right into this.
All right. Well, I guess you want to start in the main card first fight, or you want to go straight to the main event?
Nah, I wanna go right into the first card of the main. Yes, the first fight of the main card. I got some issues.
Go ahead.
So the first fight of the card is Armen Petrosyan versus Gregory Rodriguez. Armen Petrosyan wins this fight via split decision. I want to ask you first before I take my pound of flesh. I want to ask you first. Do you agree with that decision?
It seemed like to me like Gregory was winning the fight, because I was watching it, but also like my phone was acting weird, so I wasn't like focused like on the fight like I should. But based on what I was seeing, it's like Gregory was winning exchanges. It seemed like this was a Gregory Rodriguez fight, more so than Armen fights. If you get what I mean, like.
I agree with you 100%. Right. Gregory had the more powerful shots. He wasn't as active as Armen Petrosyan. Armen Petrosyan was more active. I'll give him that. But I don't think any of the leg shots he had on Gregory did any damage to him. I don't think any of the strikes he had on Gregory did any damage to him, because Gregory looked completely flawless at the end of the fight. It didn't make sense to me that Gregory Rodriguez didn't win this fight. Like, it really didn't make sense. The judging didn't make sense to me. I wanted to know who was the judge that voted for Armen Petrosyan. Who were the judges that voted for Armen Petrosyan? Because it doesn't make sense. I don't see which rounds he won. There are none of the rounds that I'm remembering. Like, this fight happened last night. I watched this fight last night. And then I watched the highlights after it. And then I rewatched it again to make sure I wasn't, crazy or anything. How did Armen Petrosyan win this fight? There's not one round that I could argue was for him. I can't. And see, the funny part is, right? Like, if this is how you're gonna judge fights, I see an issue with this because I'm hearkening right back to at least the Sandhagen versus Dillashaw fight.
Okay.
Dillashaw was providing the more powerful shots, but Sandhagen was way more active. Not only that, I thought Sandhagen was landing some very powerful and convincing shots. I thought he was throwing with authority, and he was hurting Dillashaw. Because even though Dillashaw kept moving forward, he did have to readjust himself plenty of times. And that's why Sandhagen felt that he had the opportunity to take certain kicks that he had. That's why felt he had the opportunity to take all those spinning back fists that he had. That's why he felt he had that opportunity to do the takedown that he had. That ended up amounting to nothing, but still, he was still able to back up Dillashaw all throughout that fight. Meaning he is throwing with authority and landing and hurting Dillashaw, but that's not the way they saw it. So now I don't see how you don't, do that. You don't judge it that way with the Sandhagen Dillashaw fight, but then you see this fight, and then you have Armen Petrosyan winning this fight. To me, man, I don't mean to bury the guy, but he absolutely did not deserve to win this fight to me. Gregory Rodriguez was the better fighter that fight.
Good. It seems like the judges got this one wrong. Now you mentioned the Sandhagen Dillashaw fight. I mean, the way they score, it's like, you gotta be consistent, especially since both fights were in Vegas in the Apex.
Oh,
I mean,
there's more.
It's not like. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I'm just like saying because the judges are truly inconsistent. There is more. I got more coming up on this very card.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it is very inconsistent, this card. The whole, not just card, but judges in general, just, it's still a problem in MMA all these years later. Still, 20 plus years it's been regulated, and then we still got judging problems. It's not good. Like I said, bad judging ruins a card, can ruin a fight in a card, ruin the mood of fans. And not only that,
like at this point, man, you gotta. What you should do is you either find you find either referees, old referees that have retired, or find find fighters that are not close to any gyms at all. They have no affiliations, or maybe you can test them to see how biased they are on certain fights and things of that nature. So you can do that. But like these judges, man, right now, they're not cutting it.
No. You're right about that, yeah. I mean, I like your idea, especially like, sometimes ex-fighters who have no loyalty or hatred towards the other fighter, you can have them as judges, and you can switch it around too, so that way if a teammate fighting, they're not judging that fight, so that way it's not biased. But yeah, I definitely agree. You definitely want to change the fight.
Not only that, but I'm gonna take it further. Let's make it really worth their money now. Now you should have judges that aren't really working that card or whatever. If they're in the commission, take it one day. You take 3 random judges out of nowhere. You have them judge a fight, right? You watching the fight without the CompuBox or anything like that. If you can find a clean copy, I know the UFC and Bellator probably have clean copies where they're not hearing the commentators or anything like that. They're just hearing the background, and they have the camera angles of the fight. You're watching the fight, things of that nature. You can see all the you judge it there, and then compare the judges' score, and then that way you give those judges grades. We got to start giving these judges and these referees grades, man.
I agree. Yeah, we should. Especially gonna make bad judging decisions like that. I mean, yeah, they should judge. Should give them grades and see who's doing good, who's not doing good. Because, like I said, bad refereeing and bad judging hurts fighters, and also it sucks for us as fans. Also,
it really does. It deflates from the event's rewatchability, and not only that, right?
Right.
But here's the biggest part. Let's say Gregory Rodriguez wins this fight and no other fight on the card was as exciting as that. And I'm not even saying that. This was a great UFC card.
It was.
Really was it was a great UFC card.
Definitely.
Like, for me to be taking my pound of flesh right now about this fight, it lets you know how much I care about this card, because it was really, really great. And to me, I think a lot of people potentially advanced themselves from this card, and this card should be remembered. This fight night should be remembered. But like the judging for this fight right here and another fight as well, for me, like it's disgusting and it makes no sense. And the biggest part for me is back to the original point. Let's say no other fight was as exciting or less exciting than this fight.
Okay.
And Gregory Rodriguez wins. That gives him potential for performance of the night.
A bonus, yeah, I see what you mean.
You've taken that potential away from him.
Yeah, that makes it worse. Yes, winning the winner purse and then the bonus. Yeah, that makes it way worse when you put it in that context.
That's why I like this one was really disgusting, and I have another fight on this card that was, I think the judging to me was disgusting as well.
Okay, well, I guess we can move on and talk about the fight that happened after this fight, which features another Arman, but spelled different with A instead of an E. Arman Tsoukaryan against Joel Alvarez, and Arman Tsoukaryan wins this fight via TKO in the second round, 1 minute 57 seconds in, and this was a beatdown. I mean, when Arman Tsoukaryan hit the elbow on Joel Alvarez's nose, it was basically the end of Joel Alvarez.
It's the worst cut possible, especially where he was at. It's a ground and pound. He throws the elbow. It cuts the bridge of his nose right here, ladies. I don't know if y'all. Yeah, I mean, people in the podcast, you're not gonna see it, but it literally cuts right there in the middle between his eyes.
Yeah, it was
so
bad.
He's laying down, and blood is just leaking in both of his eyes. He cannot see anything, like anything at all. And then right after that, he's like just trying to defend anything that Arman Tsoukaryan is throwing down. And ladies and gentlemen, if you know Arman Tsoukaryan, he's lethal with the striking, but he's also very lethal with the wrestling as well. So Joel Alvarez really couldn't even, he's defending blind against both striking and submissions.
Yes, he is.
It sucks. But he luckily survives the first round after all of that. Even pops himself back up at the end of the round and is able to, throw some strikes to kind of leverage hopefully leverage the playing field for himself. But then that second round, Arman, his cut man did the best job he could. The doctor did the best job they could in closing the gap. Some people were arguing maybe they could have put more Vaseline, but Arman Tsoukaryan, man, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta give him one moment. I gotta find out what rank he is.
He's ranked 13.
He's ranked 13 right now.
He'll move up Tuesday, probably.
He's definitely gonna move up. But this guy really is displaying the skill right now of a top 5 contender in the lightweight division.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
that type of new blood that, he's gotten beat by Islam, so now he's refocused, has somewhere to really repay his attention to, as far as, him, seeking the top of the division, because this guy that he feels he could have beaten, he's calling for the rematch consistently. No one else is calling for the rematch, I guess, other than maybe Bobby Green after last night. But
let me first calling out Islam Makhachev for that. A few ones.
And that's one of the few ones that when you saw their fight the first time, you go, damn, that was close. Islam just beat him by a few inches to me. But now watching Arman is like a second time, maybe he felt he saw something in that first fight that he's got it figured out. That's the type of, that I'm giving him a fight. I'm giving him a puncher's chance in that fight.
I'll give him a shot. I think he's got a shot against Islam. Like I said, if they fight, obviously it's gonna take a little bit longer because where they are. But go ahead. I'm sorry, you were saying something.
He's most definitely building up to that, and I'm definitely interested in his rise. But that second round, man, no matter what that doctor could have done, when Arman Sarukian's on a mission like that, there was nothing Joel Alvarez could have done to kind of stop it. At most, you're asking him to put his arms all the way up and block his face. You're leaving his legs for chops and takedowns. And then if you take him down and he's bottom, then he's liable to ground and pound, and that's even worse. At that point, and that's what I think he decided to go for, and that's how the fight ended with Arman Sarukian, ending the fight via ground and pound. And like it is what it is, man. Vicious, bloody fight.
Man, those elbows, man, they're powerful. People don't realize what an elbow can do. What an elbow can do to a person when you hit it correctly. I mean, yeah, he beat Joe Alvarez. He was riding high too coming to this fight. Really riding high.
Oh yes.
On a 4-5. I
don't know if he had. It was a 4-5 win streak, but did he make weight for this fight?
He did.
Oh.
And it was all he did, and it was like I said, he had 4 stoppages too in his 4 victories in a row. And then he met the buzzsaw his Arman Sarukian and just, damn. I mean, hopefully he gets his nose healed, can recover. Hopefully, and like, especially considering how important nose is, especially to breathing. I mean, he really is going to take, hopefully, a while before he fights again. Hopefully he recovers fully. And then cause him problems.
That cut was nasty. There was a gap there. And I could have sworn, I'm not even going to lie, I could have sworn I saw some white meat.
I saw something. I did. I saw something.
Something white in the cut, right? That lets you know how deep it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that blood.
But he is a warrior, yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen someone bleed that much from a cut. It's been a minute. I mean, that was like Bigfoot Silva when he fought Cain Velasquez the first time. Have you ever seen that fight? How bloody Bigfoot Silva was. The beatdown King gave him. It was that level.
Yeah.
Well, that Sarah's Arman Sarukian. He got a performance bonus too. He wants a top 10 opponent. He deserves a top 10 opponent. Can't wait to see him fight next. Who he fights. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if within next year or 2 years from now, him and Islam are having that rematch.
Oh yeah. If Islam, I think if Arman rises just enough, and Islam happens to I'm not even wishing it on him. I'm a fan of him and what he's done. But if he, let's say, gets to Oliveira or gets to Gaethje, and he falls between one of those two, and he's just still the number 1 contender, and he wants to impress right back into the top, I think potentially that would be a fight he would be interested in, to say, hey, this guy is a riser in the division. If I beat him once again and keep him at least at bay at number 2, number 3 within the top 5, then I'm next in line. That's essentially taking the Justin Gaethje route.
It is, and that makes sense. Yeah, and I definitely can see that if Islam were to lose to the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira in May, well, when they fight in May, but the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira, you get what I mean. But excuse me. I guess we can move on and talk about the third fight in this card, which is between Priscilla Cacho Herrera and Ji Yolen Kim. And Priscilla Cacho Herrera wins this fight via unanimous decision, 29-28 in all 3 judges' scorecards. And this was an entertaining fight. This was fight of the night, by the way. Both ladies got performances bonuses, which is good. And it was very entertaining. Both women really hurt each other. Kim was bleeding from her nose area in her mouth. Not as bad as Joe Alvarez, but still bleeding. And Priscilla Cacho Herrera, I mean, she got beat up. I mean, you see her face, especially in that second round. Her face got redder, and her thighs, like her legs, you could tell it was getting redder and redder. And it was bloody too. I mean not bloody, but it was so red, like you could tell that she was getting beat up, and that she's gonna be feeling it today. And this was a very entertaining fight. Both women came to trade and bang, basically, throw shots at each other, and it was an entertaining fight, And this was entertaining. Now, what are your thoughts of this fight, Chef Dan?
This was a dumb decision. Great fight, I agree with you 100%. Dumb decision. Jeon Kim won this fight 2 out of 3 rounds. She won the first, she won the second. To me, I think Priscilla only won the third round because she started throwing those elbows, and that's when it started opening up Jian Kim. But all in all, I thought Jian Kim won the first and the second round. It was a dumb decision. I don't see how you could win the third round and you win the fight. It doesn't make sense.
See, I agree with you. Round 2 definitely was Jian Kim round. That was her best round. Round 3 was Cacho Herrera's best round too. Especially, like I said, those elbows where Kim was bleeding a lot. I mean, oof. It was a bloody mess. It was, and once again, the elbows. One thing we learned about this card is the importance of elbows. But anyway, side note, let's get back to the fight. Cacho Herrera won the fight, but the first round, I mean, it was, shoot. I can't remember. You might be right, because I can't remember the first round. I know, like I said, those 2 rounds, I agree with you there, but you might have a point in the first round.
I'm going to say this. Look, it wasn't Jian Kim's best round. Jian Kim's best round was, as you said, the second round. She really touched up, and because like the Jian Kim that showed up in that second round, I remember that's the Jian Kim that fought Molly McCann. That's the Jian Kim that had the beautiful footwork, countering, all that. Like she was stepping it up in that second round. The first round wasn't her best round, but this is the thing. If you score the first 2 rounds 10-9 Jian Kim, I don't see how you score the third round and you still end up with Priscilla being the best, being the winner. I can't score that third round 10-7.
No, it was not.
It's not a 10-7. It's not a 10. It's not a 10-8. A 10-8, you got to drop someone.
Right, and also, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The judges gave Cacho Herrera the first round. Then I think that's what it is, which you don't agree with at all.
I don't agree with that one at all. Maybe I need to rewatch that fight, but that one to me personally, I felt like Jian Kim. Salute to them that they got performance bonus of the night, but I think Jian Kim was robbed of a decision.
Yeah, I mean,
but then there's another part of me that where like maybe she has to, because her coach also took a picture of both Jian Kim and Priscilla hugging it out after the fight, and you kind of see Priscilla wore most of the damage than Jian Kim. And he's like, who looks like the real winner here? And like, instead of doing that, it's like at the point where you kind of got to go, your fighter is skilled enough, man. You kind of have to change up. It's not all about the power. It's the degree of shots and where you're hitting a person at. And if you hit them with enough force, you don't even have to be the strongest person, but you can put someone out. Jian Kim, she has beautiful striking, but she really doesn't mix it up with the elbows and the knees. And she did mix it up with some of the knees with Priscilla, but it was really rare. And she's not someone who's kind of where you... Something that I've seen Valentina do, right? And I saw it versus the Jessica Andrade fight. I remember at some point, this was dangerous. She's striking with Andrade, and when she got the better of her with 2 strikes, she immediately clinched her in, threw up a knee, didn't matter whether it hit or not, and then pushed her off. So now she has, she pushes her off, and Andrade has to get back into range.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, basically do that. Even Lee doesn't drop her, still give her something else to think about. It's important, especially if you're taller than your opponent.
Not only that, but Priscilla, dude, tell me you weren't telegraphing that right hand the entire night.
Yeah, it's true. The right hand almost became predictable in the fights. Like I said, the elbow that did hurt.
First round.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. It was the elbow in the third round because she changed the pace up. But for especially the first 2 rounds, it was just, throwing the right hand all the way from last week, like Michael Bisping said. Salute to him.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's a good quote. But yeah, I mean, this fight, I mean, I gotta rewatch the first round to see if maybe you are correct and maybe the judges did screw up again, which would be a shame. Bad judging once again, screwing a fighter and screwing us.
It was bad, and maybe Maybe Dana White will do something about that. I don't know. I have to maybe check the press conferences. Maybe if he said that, nah, I don't agree with the judges. I think this person won the fight, and we'll see what's gonna happen for that person. So, yeah, because I know Jeon Kim. She definitely deserves another chance to prove that she can step up. But then again,
so.
maybe it's like you don't leave it in the judges' hands anymore. Start to show that you can put some people down and put them out.
Yeah, you're right. You make great points, especially excuse me, in terms of that. Good thing she got going for her, Jeon Kim's. That her last 2 fights were fight of the night, so she's entertaining. If you're very entertaining, UFC will keep you around, even if you do lose a couple fights.
But yeah, most definitely salute to Priscilla and salute to Jeon Kim. They definitely put up a great fight.
Yeah, they did. Anyway, I guess we go ahead.
Yeah, we can move on to the next fight. This fight happened in, I think, what is it, the lightweight?
No, middleweight.
Middleweight division. Wellington Turman versus Misha Serkinov. Wellington Turman wins this fight via armbar in the second round. He threw that up out of nowhere. That's what I'm gonna say. He threw that armbar up out of nowhere. I was frying some chicken wings watching the fight, and I went to just check the chicken wing real quick while he's down on the ground, and fruit, and all I hear is Misha stopping, Misha stopping. I'm like, whoa, what the? I just turned my head. I went to check on these wings.
Yeah, everyone was surprised. I was surprised too. I was checking my phone, texting someone, just see a message briefly, and all of a sudden the fight's over. Like, what? Like happened? It was out of nowhere, so quick like that, and he just got the armbar. Even Brandon Fitzgerald, the play-by-play commentator, was surprised. He didn't know what happened.
He said he literally turned his head to talk to Michael Bisping real quick, and the rest of the announcers, commentators are saying, "Fight's over." He tapped, and that's when he turned. He just sees Wellington Turman getting up off his back. It's like quick. All that working out with the champ, Glover Teixeira, that's working out for Wellington Turman, man. Salute to him. He put on a great performance, and I think he put on a just as great. Matter of fact, he put on an even better performance than what he did against Sam Alvey. I remember now because they talked about it with the fight history. The only thing that took away from that fight was that he did have 2 eye pokes in the third round. But all in all, he's been putting up great performances. Salute to Wellington Turman.
Salute to him. Working Glover Teixeira definitely helps the champion light heavyweight division, who actually knocked out Serkinov back in 2017. Serkinov was a light heavyweight, so maybe that helped, But this fight was a fight of momentum, basically. Because in the first round, Turman is able to get in a clinch and he backpacks Serkinov and tries to go for a rear naked choke, almost has it, but Serkinov was able to fight off and be able to reverse position and get on top of him as they fall to the ground. He even lands a couple of strikes on top and goes for like a certain not a Darce choke, but went for a head. I don't remember the submission, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's the arm triangle. Arm triangle.
Was arm triangle? It looked like north and south position, but yeah, arm triangle. Yeah, it was arm triangle. And I just remember the moment where he was north and south. But yeah, and Serkinov arguably stole that round from Turman, considering how strong he finished at the end.
No, you're right. Because he went for the arm triangle first, and then when he went north and south, I think that might have been I think they called it like either an Americana or a Darce.
Yeah, something like that. It was something like a Darce, I think. Something like that. Go ahead.
It was something like, it was definitely something like that, but you're most definitely right. And he ended that round. I thought Misha won the first round.
I did too, and then Misha was doing solid in the early in the second round, and then like I said, takes him down. Then Turman armbarms him, catches him off his back, armbarms him, and Serkinov taps, and Turman gets a performance bonus for that victory.
It was quick, and the way like Misha was still on his feet, so he really didn't even fully engage in the ground and pound yet. He was still on his feet. I think he threw a punch, And Turman, he saw it coming, grabbed on that wrist, and just locked quick.
Yes, he did. It was just damn. I mean, shout out to William Turman. Deserves the performance bonus for that victory.
Oh yeah.
And
So,
now we go to the main event.
Main event. This ended very quickly. Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green. This was at a catch weight, even though they both fight at the lightweight division. Bobby Green coming off of action 2 weeks ago, so he decided to step up. Try and make this fight do a favor for the UFC, which he completed the favor. But this ended very quickly. Islam Makhachev brought the pressure. Bobby Green, he tried striking at distance, but Islam Makhachev bopping and weaving. Bobby Green caught him a few times, but then Islam Makhachev just pushed through all that, got Bobby Green down, tried going for some Kimuras and whatnot. That didn't work. And then Bobby Green kind of curled up as Islam decided, you know what, I'm going to just go for ground and pound. Herb Dean called for Bobby Green to defend himself. Bobby Green didn't. That was the end of the fight.
Yeah, exactly. You just said what happened, basically. Islam said he was going to probably finish in the first round, and he did. He said it, and he delivered. He took him down. Once he took him down, Bobby Green was done. Like, I was going to say another word. But yeah, he was screwed, basically.
Yeah,
And
like it.
he was not. He couldn't do anything on the bottom. Islam for submissions. He fought off, but once he started ground and pounding or smashing him, as they say in Dagestan, he couldn't do anything. And some of the punches missed, but enough for landing. And Bobby Green couldn't really defend himself at all. Despite him, turning up, blocking some punches, some of them were getting through, and he couldn't do anything. And basically, Herb Dean made the right call and stopped it. And Islam again, another dominant victory.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it's. I don't want to take anything away from Islam Makhachev, but here's the caveat I want to throw up for Bobby Green. He even put out on Instagram, one of his Instagram stories is, the only thing I asked for Herb Dean to do was to give me more time to fight. And that's brave of Bobby Green. That's being the fighters fighting in that mentality. That's who they are. But Herb Dean is conscious of the fact that Bobby Green did come off of action 2 weeks ago. He did go a grueling 3 rounds. He did get touched up by Nasrat Hasfarat. So you like, it's once you're in that position, there's nothing better that can come for you. Like, maybe you can fight from bottom, but at worst is you're putting yourself in a position to possibly get injured by this guy Islam. Because 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to go for something to break something to choke you out.
Yeah, he is. That's just he usually will. And Bobby Green, I know he wanted more time because he's a fighter, but he wasn't getting out of it. He was screwed. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, not only that, but the time you were supposed to spend healing from that Hasfarat fight, you spent cutting weight. That's dangerous. You got to heal from that and the damage you took from this fight. So the UFC, I think Herb Dean also did the UFC a favor in stopping that fight right there. And I know Bobby Green asked for more time, but he's also a guy that we've seen now. He's at least touched the main stage, and he made enough of a draw. Even though it wasn't the original fight that was planned, he made enough of a draw. They were there. I think people in the crowd were entertained by the presence. I think that what is it? What, damn, I'm losing the words.
Not the presence, the aura. No, not aura.
Leading up to the fight. All the press conferences and all that, like leading up to the fight, the marketing, the anticipation, all that. He did a good job marketing and making this fight really, really good. I think he even did Islam a favor in helping Islam be more marketable and taking some of Bobby Green's fans, and not even taking them, but saying, okay, this is a guy I want to invest some time in watching because he's on the rise. So
Yeah.
Salute to Bobby Green for that.
Yeah, and so Bobby Green, and for Islam, he should fight for the title next. I mean, Dariush going to be gone for a while, especially with the ankle injury. We don't know when he's coming back. Also, he's 10 in a row now for Islam. 10 in a row now. And there's no one else in the top 5 in lightweight who's deserving a title fight, considering Poirier's come off the loss to Oliveira. Someone's losing the title fight between Oliveira and Gaethje. And Chandler's come out the loss to Gaethje, so Islam's the next option. So
he's the next option. He's next.
Yeah, this year it's gonna be Islam and the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira. And
I don't know if it's gonna be this year because you got to see how much damage comes out of that fight.
Right, that is true. That's a good point. There may be some of them probably take damage. Although, never mind. I do have a prediction for that fight, but yeah. And it could be damage, and who knows how long it's going to be before they come back and fight. That's a fair point. But you know what? When we get there, we'll talk about what I think about the fight. That's in May, and that's going to be the main event of that card because I think Glover Teixeira and Yuri Prochazka was supposed to be the main event, but that got moved to June for some odd reason, which we don't know why. But yeah. So May 5th or May 6th, I forget, we'll get that fight, and we'll find out who Islam's fighting next. Because let's be honest, no one but Islam deserves the next shot at the title.
Most definitely. But I want to point out some fighters that really performed on the preliminaries. Really, really great fights. Salute to Terrence McKinney, man.
Yes.
Defeated Faraz in the first round via rear naked choke. He was talking months about, letting us see that wrestling, and that came through in fruition. Took down Fiziev. He dominated in that first round, and he's been keeping his string of first round victories going. So salute to Terrence McKinney. I'm excited to see more of him. Hopefully, Paddy the Batty Pimblett, he can execute right there. And those two, they've been calling each other out. Maybe that's a main fight on a fight night. Who knows?
It should be, yes. I hope so. And shout out to Terrence McKinney. Again, another victory in the UFC in the first round. They say his last 4 fights are a grand total of 1 minute, like under 2 minutes, his last 4 fights. And now his fifth, I think this is his 5th fight in a row he's won. And at least in the UFC, I don't know if it's MMA, but it's now it's 2 minutes, it's his victory. Once he took down Faraz, it was over. He was dominating him. He was going to get the submission. Faraz had no answer from McKinney. And hopefully he fights in the main card next time, because I still was surprised he was in the prelims. After his performance, he better be on the main card of a fight night. Definitely should be.
Another fighter to me that I felt really performed great. Ignacio Bahamondes.
Yes.
This guy, man. It was more than the wheel kick, ladies and gentlemen. It was more than the wheel kick. This guy, his striking was really, really good against Rong Zhu. I saw the clip too. The guy that did the weight for UFC was absolutely disgusted. He did the thing, slapped it, and walked away. 160. Because Rong Zhu did not make weight again. And last time he won, and that saved him. But this time, man, Ignacio Bahamondes had his number completely. First round, all with the striking. Rong Zhu, he maybe rushed him once or twice, but after that, Ignacio Bahamondes kept just bing, 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 touching him up, beating him up, putting the brakes on him, bing, 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 bing. All of that, laying the combinations on. Second round, it was more that same diet, giving him combo number 5, combo number 6, throwing some kicks involved, all that. Rong Zhu, man, that third round, I'm guessing his coaches told him, hey, man, you need a knockout. He started rushing, man. Ignacio Bahamondes, he saw the rush one time, he withstood the rush. Second time, he withstood that one. Third time, he took Rong Zhu down, got the rear naked choke, finished him.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great performance for Bahamondes. He showed a lot. He shows grappling. He shows patience. He was more just a wheel kick. He basically dominated Rong Zhu. Rong Zhu in the second round did more, was pressing more, but Bahamondes was better, just countering him, just pick him apart, and then like, damn, you just describe what happened. And I'm trying to remember like how he got to the submission. Cause I think he hurt Rongshu. Rongshu went for like the takedown.
I think he did, and Bahamondes, he might have caught him with an uppercut or a knee.
Yeah.
But I did know like he caught Rongshu and just he finished him. There was no round I could even if I'm the biggest Rongshu fan, there's no round that I could debate to see that was for Rongshu.
None. No. And there's none. And this was a great victory for Bahamondes. Great victory. Win another finish for him in the UFC. Another victory for him. It's 2 in a row for him. 2 finishes differently. So he's got not only does he got now this is his first submission victory actually. So shout out to him getting his first submission victory. Training with Bilal Muhammad and his gym over there. So he's got a good training partner in Bilal Muhammad. And his father was in his corner, which is nice considering his father was a kickboxer in Chile. So that's why he's got good feet. For watching the highlights of Bahamondes, there's a lot of good kicks, and you can see why because his father kickboxed and he was a kickboxer all his life. So I mean,
oh yeah,
you gotta watch out for him kicks. And Bahamondes, for anyone in the lightweight division, is gonna be fighting him.
Yeah, because he's that was the main card of the preliminaries, and he absolutely delivered. That was like we said, it was a great card, and part of the reason that it was a great card was because of fights like those.
Yes, definitely agree. You're right about that.
One last thing I want to say, I don't know if he more fluid though. Tell me he doesn't remind you of Dominic Cruz.
Who?
Bahamondes.
Not really. I mean, I'll watch the fight again because I didn't get Dominic Cruz fight from him.
He's way more fluid. He's way more fluid, but the way he's so lengthy and hunched over, you would think that he's susceptible to any takedown. But he had great defense, and it's like you think you could take this guy down, just like
Dominic Cruz.
Just like Dominic Cruz. And Dominic Cruz, man, I know he has awkward striking, but Bahamondes, man, he was accurate, and like the punches you really couldn't telegraph them. It was a fluid motion.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta see it because the footwork's the thing with Dominic. It's his footwork and the way it's weird angles. I gotta see it again because I didn't see Dominic Cruz in him. Maybe you're right. Maybe you have a point. I don't know, but I didn't see it. But you might be right. I gotta watch the fight again. But great victory for Bahamondes, and this was a great card in the UFC. I mean, delivered. Anything else you want to mention?
Nah, that's it. All in all, it was a great card. Just judges got to be more consistent.
I agree. We need better judging. Judges need to be more consistent. Especially, I hope we don't get this next week especially for the big card that's on next 6 days from now as we're recording this video. The fight a lot of MMA fans been waiting for since it got announced that we're happy to see, and I'm happy to see. You're happy to see. Everyone's MMA fans happy to see. Colby Covington versus Jorge Masvidal, UFC 272 from the T-Mobile Arena live March 5th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. As we got these two fighters right here, former best friends, now turned rivals between Covington and Jorge Masvidal. I mean, I guess we'll start there. We might as well. I'm excited for this fight. If you watch the UFC like Embedded, it might. A lot of people are calling it the best one ever. I only saw part of it. It's like one of the best ones, and it was mostly just those two.
Did you see them two on the Stephen A. Smith show?
The clip, yes. I want the full interview. Give us the full interview. Give it to us.
Oh, it's out there on YouTube. 8 minutes. I believe it's 8 minutes. They couldn't let them go on for more than that. Trust me, because they was just cussing up a storm. It's still on Disney. You know what I'm saying? So they was just cussing up a storm. But my God, oh my God.
The trailer for the pay-per-view was phenomenal. You seen it, right? After the last pay-per-view, they showed it. It was like, wow, they hit out of the park. I mean, this is if you're a fight fan, the best fights are high level fighters with grudges who have real grudges, and this is it. I mean, these two guys were best friends, train partners, now rivals. I mean, one left the American Top Team. Both guys have said a lot of things about the media about each other. I mean, I wish this was the Ultimate. Why didn't they do this in Ultimate Fighter? Why? Can you imagine the Ultimate Fighter season? These two. I mean, we all would have watched it. You would have watched the season. I would have watched the season. The ratings would have gone up. We all would have watched it just to see these two trash talk each other.
Don't make me salivate anymore. That's it. You think you think I can't wait for the fight, man? I'm waiting for the press conference.
So am I.
I'm waiting for that press con. Oh my god! If you've not, oh my god, you gotta watch the interview that Jorge Masvidal does for like 30 minutes. I think with Brett Okamoto, where he's just talking, telling the story and everything, and why he hates Colby Covington and why he thinks this guy is a snake and everything. And oh my god! And
right, it's a lot.
I just want blood. Like I just want the press conference, because I'm gonna tell you why. After you watch the press conference, right? I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna ask you, could you have waited possibly for months on end of that and not gotten the fight, or did you just want a press conference and let's get right to the bloodshed?
All right. Well, Thursday we'll find out. The press conference will be on Thursday. So traditionally on Thursdays, the press conferences with the UFC typically. So yeah, I mean, anyway, let's talk about anything else you want to say? Because this is just. I do wish it was
blood.
in Florida.
That's it. I just want blood. That's it.
I want good blood. Blood, just bleed. Like the famous fan. You know what I'm talking about. Famous fan back in the day, just bleed. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, this fight, these guys have trained a lot with each other. You would think these two guys know each other very well, and both guys know each other. Who knows? This could be a very competitive fight. It could be a domination. It could be an early knockout. It could be maybe a late stoppage. I mean, there's so many ways this fight can go. I mean, how much has Jorge's wrestling, grappling, defense improved since the last training together? Especially if you watch the old footage from 2013 when Kobe took him down easily. But that was 2013. Also, you know what I'm thinking? I don't know if you saw this, but Kamaru Usman was on the UFC post-fight breakdown with Rashad Evans and Karen Bryan. And after they talked about last night's card, they talked briefly about this fight coming up. And Kamaru Usman made two great points that I gotta mention, which was Kobe's gonna learn that Jorge's wrestling defense is better than what he remembered. But Jorge's also probably gonna learn that Kobe is a much better striker, or striking is improved from better than what he remembered. Basically, in a real fight, it's gonna be better than what it was in practice for both guys. And I think he's right on about that. I mean, what do you think about Ango or that take from Kamaru Usman?
I just want blood. I want this fight. I'm sorry. I was watching the interview, and I got two dogs near me, so when you get that animal instinct, and you just I started growling at my dogs for no reason while I'm listening to the fight, and I don't even know why. But that's the energy. I'm not in it for the. This isn't. I don't want this to be some technical, love fest of the sport, and I want the sweet science of boxing and striking and sweet science of MMA. I don't want any of that. I want blood. This is going to devolve into these two guys looking at each other when they're both bloodied up. They point at the middle of the octagon, and then they go, that's where we finish it. And they step up in the pocket, and they strike with every intent to put this other guy down and out. Because the way they're talking, oh my God, they want to put this guy out of commission for a while and then hold that above their head. Man, Masvidal said, when he found out how much money Kobe owed his coach and how Kobe wasn't going to pay him, he wanted to take a bat to his neck. And his coach told him, man, I promise you, some way, somehow, you guys are going to end up in a fight and you're going to beat this. I'm sorry, I almost
MFer.
went into, you're going to
Yeah.
beat this MFer's A, and then you're gonna get paid while beating his A. I promise you that. And this is what we get into. I want blood. I want everything thrown with bad intentions. There is no sweet science for me. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Austin. There is no
It's
sweet
not.
science for me.
There's not. Yeah, there's not a lot, but I think especially Kobe. Certain Kobe feels like Jorge's backstabbed him after his victory over RDA. That's what Kobe claims. They feel like once he went into some title, it feels like he got backstabbed, and that he even said himself, this is more animosity than him and Woodley or him and Usman. And this is, definitely he wants to, especially he feels like after everything Jorge said about him, he really wants to embarrass Jorge badly and claim that he wants to beat him up for his Jorge's ex-wife too. There's rumors that he put out some things about Jorge's relationship with his ex-wife. I don't know what's true or not, but it's bad blood. It's just, you can call this pay-per-view UFC 272 bad blood, Covington Masvidal. I think one thing that I think it's gonna play, it's gonna make a difference, that cardio, conditioning. I feel like that's gonna be probably the biggest factor. And we all know Colby Covington's cardio and conditioning is probably one of the best in all of the UFC, not just welterweight, but in all of the UFC. And I feel like we've seen it. He goes in late rounds and he looks just as fresh as he did the first round. Even against Usman, where he got knocked down the second round, by the fourth and fifth round, he looked fresh. He still looked fresh. He still looked calm. He was able to do some damage, able to stay in there. And probably the reason why he didn't get knocked out wobbly is probably because of conditioning. And Jorge,
this doesn't go the distance for me.
You don't think so?
This doesn't go the distance for me.
I
It's
can
gonna
see
finish
it.
in the third and fourth round.
But you know what? I can see it. But either Jorge gets him, or Jorge knocks him out, or Kobe maybe wears him down, and maybe like through exhaustion, Jorge can continue.
Dude, I can see Dana White just making these guys somehow stay in the same hotel. They're drawing back and forth. They're on the way to the press conference. They're drawing back and forth. They're drawing at the press conference. They're leaving the press conference, drawing back and forth. They're talking, crap to each other in the, on Twitter, on social media after the press conference when they're in their hotels. Because Dana White is going to keep them close enough to where, they smell each other and they're angrier and angrier at each other. But like they're not gonna break out into any fights or anything like that. He's gonna make sure they don't fight until the promised day. And then when that happens, someone is getting knocked the F out. This does not go the distance. Cardio goes out the window for me.
Nah, I think cardio plays a factor, because I'm gonna be honest, I think Covington wins late third, fourth, fifth round stoppage. I think cardio plays a factor, because Jorge Masvidal conditioning, even recently, has been questionable at times, especially in the later rounds. And I feel like that plus he's mentioning, like before, he was always afraid of going like deeper into fights, like because he was always afraid. He didn't want to put much outpost to the. Let me rephrase that. He didn't want to put too much output to the point where he would get himself tired in fights, and sometimes that's but Jorge's mentality's changed recently to where I'm just gonna beat you up to the point where I can't. Well, my thing is, what happens if I don't know if Jorge's gonna be able to just destroy Kobe on the feet. Now he's a better striker than Kobe Covington, obviously, but you gotta take the wrestling aspect of it and also Kobe's pressure.
I understand that, but if Kobe is coming with the pressure, I think Jorge more than welcome to meet him in the pocket. And if he stuffs a couple of takedowns, it's all about that takedown defense. If he stuffs those takedowns and makes Kobe think, all right, I'm going to have to reshoot at a later time, that's the sweet spot for Jorge. At that point, because I know you've been talking about his gas tank, but man, the last couple of fights we've seen him, they don't go the distance. Only one fight went the distance, and that was between Kamaru and him the first time. And Kamaru just spent most of the time putting pressure on Jorge after Jorge had to quickly make weight, so it really wasn't a good fight camp. And then after that, he just stomped on his toes majority of the time.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but I also take the Nate Diaz fight where even though he won the third round, he was starting to slow down. You can tell in that third round before the doctor in the cut. He already did enough damage to Nate to where
that's the point, though.
But Kobe's not Nate. But only Kobe's
and I'm not saying Kobe's not Nate, but I don't think Kobe has such great, striking defense that he's just gonna be bopping and weaving, staying in the pocket with Jorge, and that's not what he wants to do.
Yeah, but okay. Well, like I said, I personally see as Kobe victory personally, late third, fourth, fifth round stoppage. I think the cardio is going to play a factor, and personally in this fight, could be wrong. Like I said, Jorge could catch him. Obviously, not counting out Jorge. Jorge could beat him, could knock him out, maybe knock him out or hurt him badly. This could be a 5-round war. I mean, that'd be awesome. It's a 5-round, even if no one gets finished, but it's war though, where both guys are bleeding. That would be kind of cool.
Hopefully, but this is gonna be war. I agree with you 100%. Regardless of the length, they're both gonna come out with bad intentions, and it's gonna be great.
All right. Anyway, I guess we can move on and talk about the co-main event because this card is pretty damn good. It's not just the main event. Obviously, the main event's spectacular, but the card is pretty freaking phenomenal. Especially this co-main event, which was originally supposed to be the main event for not this past week UFC, the week before. The main event for the week before UFC. That's the battle of the Rafaels. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Rafael Fiziev in the lightweight division. As both guys are in the top 10, I believe, in the lightweight. I know RDA is number 6, and I think Fiziev is number 10. And I call it Battle Rafaels because that's what Fiziev calls it. He wanted to see who's the better of the Rafaels. And plus, they're both named Rafael. And Fiziev, he's surging. I mean, this guy's come out impressive knockout victory over Brad Riddell, who was a rising contender. Everyone thought would be, in the top 10, which he still will be. But the way he knocked out Riddell was, jeez. He's a factor, and RDA is a legend. RDA is a guy who was a 155 champion, coming out with victory over who was he beat? I'm trying to remember now. Was it Paul Felder? No, I feel like he won another fight. Shoot, I'm trying to remember who RDA's come out with victory over.
Give me one moment.
I forget, but both guys have come out with victories. Obviously, Fiziev is obviously ranked, and
yes,
RDA.
You're right, Paul Felder.
Okay. I'm excited for this fight. I think both guys are great stand-up fighters. Both guys. I want to see how Fiziev do in the biggest fight of his career, especially in this card, which make argument might be bigger than even main eventing against RDA a couple weeks ago, considering how big this card is going to be, and also all eyes attention on them, especially in the co-main event too. How's Fiziev handling that pressure? Go ahead.
And with the special note of this being a 5-round fight, they usually don't do that unless it's a Diaz fight or a
title fight.
Yeah, or a title fight. 2 title fights being put up. So this is a special fight, man. This is a really special fight. This shows how much confidence the UFC has in this, that they think that this may be a 5-round war. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I kind of have Rafael Fiziev. He's been very impressive. It was not only the Brad Riddell fight for me, but I think the way to me he dominated Bobby Green. Bobby Green did not have much for him, and Bobby Green is on the rise right now. But Bobby Green's rise did get stumbled a little when he ran into Rafael Fiziev. That was a good fight for both of them, and Bobby Green did show a lot of skill, but Rafael Fiziev was always just a tick better.
Also, he's got Victor Hernando Moicano. He knocked him out, and we see Moicano's won 2 in a row, 3 of the last 4 fights, and the loss was to Fiziev. So you see, the last 3 guys he beat are either guys highly ranked prospects or guys who are now gone on to do well since that loss to him. So I mean, it shows how great Fiziev is and how he's not someone to mess with. But he's legit, especially now he trains out Stanford MMA now, I believe, with Henry Hoofenum, which is a great gym. So which definitely is great for his skills. I mean, he makes him even more dangerous, I think, training over there in South Florida with Stanford MMA. And this is gonna be—I can't wait. 5 rounds. These two guys who definitely RDA. RDA's got a lot of decision victories, but RDA it's never boring. Like RDA will push the action. He will dominate. He'll let you. RDA finds ways to win. I mean, he's just that good. I mean, every time you feel like he's done recently, he always gets a big victory or a streak to let you know that no, he's still pretty good. He's still one of the top guys, and in UFC. So. This is a chance for RDA to really, if he gets a victory with Fiziev, puts in the title picture, just right behind Islam Makhachev, but in that Darragh category where one more fight possibly. And for Fiziev, he beats a former champion RDA. I mean, sky's the limit for him. He's same position.
Yeah, this is a lot on the line here, and very interested in this fight. Very interested.
I am too. And now we go from the lightweight to the featherweight, featuring a guy who was at lightweight for a long time, Edson Barboza, going against Bryce Mitchell, Doug Nasty. Bryce's first fight in a while. I'm trying to remember his last fight, because it's been a minute since he's fought. I'm trying to remember his last fight he had.
I know he got the camo shorts for the last fight. Andre Fili.
October of 2020, so it's been over a year since he's fought. And now after a year off, he's back. He's taking on a challenge, Edson Barboza. And Bryce Mitchell is undefeated, 14 wins, no losses, and he's ranked number 11. No, not number 11 in the featherweight division. Let me pull up. I think we have a rankings, and let me see if we get the rankings here. If I can pull up, show on screen.
Bryce Mitchell, yeah, he is number 11.
Okay, yes, he is number 11. You see here. And Barboza is ranked. My bad, wrong rankings.
Number 10.
Number 10. All right, so 10, 11. Two of the top 10, 11 guys fighting each other. This is a test for Edson. I'm not Edson. Bryce. If he can beat the veteran Edson Barboza, guy's been there, fought a lot of the best in both weight classes, lightweight and featherweight. Has won a lot of fights, lost some fights. He's looking great at featherweight. I mean, he won 2 in a row, arguably 3, because a lot of people think he beat Danny in that fight. But he's come off the loss to Giga Chikadze back in August, so this is it. So his first fight, see how he does, going against a great grappler and then Bryce Mitchell, who's known for his submission game. I mean, he's on the ground, he's dangerous. I mean, he always has a chance to submit anybody. But Edson Barboza, as we know, has elite striking, and just because you're a great grappler doesn't mean he can't knock you out. Ask Beneil Dariush back in 2017 when he caught him with a knee after Dariush went for a takedown.
Yep. They're both very dangerous, but this is most definitely a test for Bryce Mitchell, and hopefully this could put him on the road to being more active. Needs to be more active if he has championship aspirations. This division is it's loaded with talent, but you got to find a way to differentiate yourself.
Yes, you're right about that. You definitely need to. And being more active could definitely help you out, especially since I think his grappling is so good. That featherweight division has a lot of strikers when you look at the division, especially in the top. I mean, you pull it up. As you see, Holloway, striker, Volkanovski, primary striker. Ortega is the grappler, the jiu-jitsu practitioner. Rodriguez.
Yeah, but he's gotten very, very good with his striking.
Yes, that's true. He has, but jiu-jitsu is his trademark. Korean Zombie, Chang Sung-jung, striker. Calvin Cater, striker. Emmett, wrestler and striker. Arnold Allen, I believe he's mostly a striker. And Gage Kazin.
Striker. Yair Rodriguez, you said already, striker.
Danny Gage, striker. So yeah, he has a chance of Victor Barboza. He can climb up the rankings and present a new challenge for all these featherweights who mostly have to deal with other strikers. And maybe that could be his benefit to where he might climb up the rankings. Like, considering he's such a good grappler, he might give all these guys fits, potentially.
See, it's very few grapplers, but those guys are the guys that are really good at grappling. Volkanovski's really good at grappling. He's a champ. Yeah, Brian Ortega, really good at grappling. He's number 2. Who else is good at grappling?
Well, Josh Emmett, I believe, is a wrestler.
Number 6. You could rise up. You could definitely rise up in the rank.
Yes, definitely. Yes, Holloway's done well against guys with good grappling, but he's done his fair share as well. But still, I mean, who knows? That'll be a unique matchup. If obviously Bryce got to get past Edson Barboza and other tests before he can get near Max Holloway, because Holloway is right there. Who'll fight the winner of Volkanovski and Korean Zombie?
Yeah,
for sure,
most definitely.
If Edson Barboza, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If Evan Barboza wins, he'll put himself right back in the top 10 in not far from a title contention, and be able to get the Bryce Mitchell his first loss would definitely be something he can put in his resume as a good thing.
Most definitely, and like you said, it'll most likely right the ship for him to get right back on that title hunt, which is when we saw Edson Barboza on the title hunt, him being dedicated to that, he was at his most dangerous and very exciting to watch as well. So with that being said, I want to move on to this next fight on the main card in the middleweight division. Or is this in the welterweight division?
No, welterweight division.
Welterweight division. Kevin Holland is moving up to welterweight. He's going to face Alex Oliveira. And we haven't seen Kevin Holland in a while. The last time we saw him in action in the UFC ring was against Kyle Dawkins, where a clash of heads knocked him out. And then Dawkins was able to take advantage and win that, take advantage of that. But then the referees called that a no contest due to a clash of heads. So Kevin Holland now is moving up in the weight class. He's going to welterweight, moving down, to welterweight to try and, take on Alex Oliveira. Oliveira's a jiu-jitsu artist, am I correct?
No, he's more of a knockout guy. I mean, I think he's got good jiu-jitsu, but he tends to get knockouts, like Cowboy Oliveira. He's got, I believe, 12 knockouts.
Yeah, but I've heard a lot of times Bisping has described him as a good jiu-jitsu artist.
I think he's one of those who's good jiu-jitsu, but he's got knockout power. Or he's one of those good strikers who's got good jiu-jitsu. Kind of like Jose Aldo, where Aldo's known for having great jiu-jitsu and done well in competition, but we all know Aldo's is a great striker. I mean,
okay, yeah, but Cowboy Oliveira. This is gonna be interesting, man. We haven't seen Kevin Holland in a while, and if Cowboy wins this fight, it's gonna be over a name that was putting up some buzz, and hopefully that could propel him. If Kevin Holland wins this fight, hopefully that sets his career right, and he can possibly get on to being more active, because this guy, last time before the string of losses he had, I believe he was on a 5-fight win streak where he won 5 fights in 1 year.
Yeah, 5 fights in 7 months too. That's what makes it more impressive. It wasn't just in a year; it was 7 months.
So he's got to get back right, because he is a fan favorite, and I want to see Kevin Holland.
Me too. I like Kevin Holland. I like the fact that it's Oliveira. It's gonna be a good fight. Could be fight tonight. Well, maybe fight tonight. I don't know. That's hard. That's hard considering what we got on this card. But it could be a great fight. How about that?
Nah, it could be, but you're absolutely right. Considering what's on this card, I'm kind of really looking at it right now, man. Even some of these preliminaries, some guys might end up with a performance of the. It's gonna be tough for these guys to give out bonuses for performance of the night for this card. Some of these names on here. I mean, but let's get right into the first fight on the main card. It's in the heavyweight division. Sergey Spivak versus Greg Hardy. We haven't seen Greg Hardy for a while, man. We really haven't seen him
since July when he got knocked out by Tai Tuivasa. And that fight, he hurt Tai too. He rocked him, but Greg Hardy rushed in not intelligently, left himself open, and Tai countered and just dropped him. Was able to finish him. That's what happened to Greg Hardy in his last fight. Greg Hardy, we all know he's got legit power. I mean, he can definitely knock guys out. But he's come off 2 losses. Although both were to Sorry about that. Both were to Tai Tuivasa and Marcin Tybura. who are both ranked heavyweights. I mean, look what Ty's doing now. I mean, Ty looks like a new contender in the heavyweight division. Wait,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's going against Sergey Speknov, who's 13-3, who's got 11 finishes, 6 submissions, 5 knockouts. So he tends to finish his opponents by submission or knockout too. So you gotta watch out for submission game also with
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Speknov.
Spivak, and I was trying to remember where did I last see him, and now I remember he did fight against Tom Aspinall, and Tom Aspinall, he's just a more polished guy like that. Tom Aspinall's a freak of nature, but they're coming up against Greg Hardy, man. I think Sergey Spivak can win this fight against Greg Hardy.
I think so too. I think both guys can win because I can see where Greg Hardy's power. I mean, it's legit. I mean, if he can, work on his conditioning, work on his defense, he can, and he hits Speknov, he can knock him out. And then, but Sergey can also knock him out too. And also, if he gets to the ground, he gotta watch out for that submission game because, like I said, he's got 6 submissions. Although some of them are, his most recent submission was back in 2019. It was against, ironically, Tai Tuivasa, the last guy Greg Hardy fought.
So they're gonna bring that up. The commentators are gonna bring that up, but that's an Austin fact.
Yep, that's something to bring up. Yeah, but both guys can win. I expect it to be a finish. I don't think this is going to go to decision. I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I'd be very much so surprised if this goes to decision. This is gonna finish, and potentially a lot of these fights on this card has a potential for finishes. I mean, looking at some of these cards and some of these fights in the preliminaries, yeah, Marina Rodriguez versus Xiaonan Yan, that's a possibility. Yeah, that's a great fight, and that could have been a possibility to have been on the main card.
I agree. I think if any other card on a pay-per-view, this is the main card fight. Any other card, but because this card is, like I said, the fights are so good, and also the chance for finishes that. It unfortunately has to be in the prelims, but go ahead.
I agree with you 100%, and I think also the Fiziev versus Dos Anjos fight that naturally knocks down certain grades of fights.
It does, and if that fight, if the Dos Anjos Fiziev fight happened last weekend, this would probably be on the main card. Rodriguez and Yan, and this is a great fight. 2 top. I believe they're top 5 in the strawweight division. Let me pull up the women's rankings. Yes, Jan's is number 4. Rodriguez number 3. Rodriguez is on a roll. I mean, I think she's coming off. I'm trying to remember who did she beat? Was Mackenzie Dern her last fight?
Was it Mackenzie Dern?
Yes, it was. I just checked it right now. It was Mackenzie Dern. That was her last fight.
Okay.
Rodriguez has been on 3
fights. I feel like before that she may have fought what's her name? Never mind. No. She fought Michelle Waterson. That was who she fought before that.
She came up impressive 2021. She fought 3 times, won 3 times. She stopped Amanda Ribas after Amanda Ribas out live. Ribas has bounced back and beat Michelle Waterson in a 5-round main event, and same thing with Mackenzie Dern in a 5-round main event, and 1 fight a night after performance. So we know Maria Rodriguez is a dark horse in that strawweight division, and with victory over Xiaonan Yan, and she definitely cements herself as the next title challenger to fight the winner of Carla Esparza and Rose Namajunas. But Yan Xian can probably do that also. Although her last fight she got brutalized by Carla. I mean, she got TKO and left in a bloody mess by Carla Esparza. If she has a dominant performance, can somehow stop the train that is Marina Rodriguez, you can make an argument for Yan Xian possibly getting a title fight against the winner of Rose and Carla Esparza. So this could be in a lot of ways a title eliminator.
Most definitely, and not only that, I don't see this fight ending in the judges' hands either.
Nah, I don't think so. It could be, but it's 3 rounders, not 5. So that's
but these 2 are highly ranked, and I think at some point they're gonna pick up the pace. If they're too patient, then they may go into judges' decision where that's what's gonna make it a lackluster fight. But I think they're too highly skilled to let it be a snooze fest. It's gonna get dangerous for both of them.
Yeah, I think so. And this is a great, like I said, a great fight for the prelims. I mean, definitely want to watch out for this fight, especially as importance for strawweight division, which I always say, will continue to say until otherwise, the best division in women's MMA, and all, not just UFC, but probably all of MMA.
Yeah, I'm looking at other fights in the preliminaries as well. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Brian Keller. I'm looking forward to that one.
Me too.
I want to see that. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, my bad, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was gonna say Umar's undefeated if I'm mistaken. 13 or 14 0. Against a veteran, Brian Kelleher, who was, like I said, a veteran, a good test for Umar. I mean, Umar can continue the Nurmagomedov undefeated streak between him, Usman Nurmagomedov, and Bellator, and obviously Habib, who's retired 29 0.
Most definitely, but and even Islam Makhachev was part of that family. They consider him family, and he's undefeated as well.
No, it's one loss.
Oh yeah, he does have one loss. But yeah, that's a fight on the preliminaries. I'm definitely interested in. Devontae Smith, he's coming off some impressive victories. I want to see him. He's facing Ludwig Klein. Devontae Smith has impressive power, so I'm looking forward to see him hopefully display that power. Jamie Mullarkey versus Jalen Turner. I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. There's a lot of good fights on this card. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I mean Jalen Turner and Jamie Mullarkey, both guys have a lot of knockouts. Of Turner's 11 wins, 8 of them are knockouts. Of the 14 wins Jamie Mullarkey has, 10 of them are knockouts. So, and plus, it looks like, if I'm mistaken, Jalen Turner has 100% finishing weight. So basically, if he wins a fight, it's by a finish, where it be KOs or submissions. So if Jalen Turner wins, he's more likely going to be a knockout, a finish. But also, Jim Mullarkey has 14 finishes of his 14 Wait, hang on, let me double check to make sure if that's correct about Jay Mullarkey. 14. No, he has one. No, he has one decision. It's 10 KOs, 3 subs, and 1 decision. So he's 93% finishing rate. So both guys are finishers, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and Jamie Mullarkey has a crazy power to display as well. I'm interested in that one.
I am too. I think that's going to be a great fight. Probably won't go to the judges as well.
It's a lot of fights here. It's a lot of fights. Like I said, this card is really, really good. This card is really, really good, ladies and gentlemen. Get your popcorn ready. I'm here for this one.
Me too. Pay-per-view starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. Hang on, do I have the? Never mind. But yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. The pay-per-view. The prelims start at 8 o'clock on ESPN Plus. No, ESPN. It's a pay-per-view. Should be on ESPN. The prelims. And early prelims start at 7 or 6. It's one of the 2 time zones, Eastern time zone. I don't remember.
No, it starts at 6 it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern time zone.
Okay, 6 p.m. Eastern time zone, early preams. The regular preams start at 8 p.m. Eastern time zone and ESPN, and then ESPN Plus at 10 p.m. is the pay-per-view.
I'm here for that. I am definitely here for that, man.
I'm excited for this card. This card's gonna be killer. It's gonna be a great card. It's gonna deliver. This has potential to be fight card of the year. Potential. Obviously, we gotta wait and see.
Yeah, we gotta wait and see. Not only that, but we don't know what rabbit does Dana White have in his hat. We don't know what he's gonna pull out at some point. But this definitely has the potential to deliver, to be fight of the card of the year. The main card has potential to be fight of the year. I'm here for it all. Let's get right into it.
Definitely. Can't wait. And anything else you want to say before we end the show, Dan?
I'm here for blood. Let's go.
I'm here for great fights and great action. Let's go. And blood, too. Well, thank you guys for watching and tuning in to us, whether you're watching us on YouTube or tune in via Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Reason FM, etc. All the podcasting platforms where you listen to us. Thank you guys for listening and watching us. Appreciate the likes, the support that you guys give. Don't forget to share the video. and share or like the video or give us good reviews on the podcast platforms they allow it. And definitely look forward to talking to you guys next week about what happened next Saturday and break it down.
Most definitely. But for me, Chef Dan, I want to say thank you guys so much for joining us on this journey as we break down all that violence that happened on Bellator, all the violence that happened on UFC, and the violence that's going to ensue this Saturday on UFC. We here for it all. Eyes peeled back, popcorn ready, fingers all in the wings and the sauce and all that. Got the beverages. Adult beverages if you're drinking, if you know, all that.
Yeah.
But I'm here. Salute to everyone, and thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for watching us. We appreciate you guys. Have a good day, good night, whatever time watching this. We'll see you next week. For Austin and Chef Dan, have a good night, good day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Happy birthday to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are